Hey, and welcome to the St. Ford Show again. I'm your host, Evan St. Ford, and it's a privilege to have you guys watching. And I'm also super excited today to have a friend of mine and someone that has done so much in our community in Miami specifically. I mean, I'm just in awe. This gentleman here that I'm getting ready to speak to today just does not sleep. His work ethic is on 150. I don't believe he's human, to be honest with you, in terms of what I've been able to see him accomplish. And, you know, from time to time, they say it's who you surround yourself with, right? Like-minded people if you want to get to where you want to go. So today I have the privilege of interviewing a friend of mine again, Princeton Glaude, the owner of Primary Care Medical Centers in South Florida. And he owns 5 different medical practices. Not only that, but he does a bunch of other things. I'll let him decide if he wants to talk about that today. But, you know, for me, one of the biggest things is sometimes people will ask me, why do I do this? Why do I do these videos? Right? Yeah. And we talked about that the other day. And, you know, I'm a spiritual person. Yeah. So for me, I don't get paid to do this. And of course, it takes my time away from whatever else I'm doing to do it. Yeah. But this is a way for me to give back. Yeah. And I know one of the things you said too was that you mentor individuals that want to just, get advice from you, which is a great thing. So let's talk about Princeton first before we get into the deep stuff, right? Because I'm going to pick your brain today. Hey. I hope you're ready. You're ready? I'm ready. Okay. What I wanted to talk to you about first today was more about, I guess let's talk about your journey because where you started. Yeah. Right. And maybe how you got to where you are today.
Evans, my friend, I'm very, very happy to be here. It's a great honor. I know it's been a while, at least 2 months now. You've been trying to get me on the show. And today, finally, it's over and I'm here. As far for me, I can say it was easy. But the only thing is, my first line of business was home health. And that I was inspired by my wife. The way I was inspired was simply she was tasked to do a job at a patient home. And that time I happened to drove her to the patient home. I started asking questions and I asked her, how did she end up with the patient? What's the name of the company that she's working for? And that was 2002, 2003. Okay. And 2 years later, my wife and I, we opened our first home health, which is in 2005. Okay. So technically I research, I find information that I need to, but I was able to open it. But the only thing at that time, I know I have to do something, but I have to do it. I had to do it in a way that I can do it with my wife. Home health was the key. Okay. I did not have the healthcare background, but my wife did. Okay. But I have the mindset, the administration background, so we combine it together. That's how we were able to start our first company. Okay. However, so the company is still existing, and if I tell people this business is still my bread and butter, they will not understand it. No, but it's still, and that's the company that's allowed me to technically open the clinics that we have in the community today.
So let me ask you, because you said you're not a doctor, you're not a physician. Yeah. And it's interesting because a lot of individuals that open up medical practices usually are physicians. Yeah. Do you think maybe that's giving you an advantage since you're not a physician to have these businesses? Do you think it would be the same? I mean, tell me.
Last week, I was with a bunch of doctors. We actually doing a class together, healthcare executive. And actually one of them approached me and said, Princeton, you have the best job than most of us. They are doctors. I'm not a doctor, but they happen to own clinic. They have 1 or 2, but I'm happy to have 5. And the mindset is because since you didn't have to practice, all your focus is focused on innovation and also on make sure everything goes well. I couldn't answer it for them, but I know they are, right? Because just to go back though, just let you know, when I first went to school, I wanted to be a doctor.
Okay.
Okay. And it was simply my conversation with someone at the time. I remember maybe 1994, 1995, 96. I was accepted to go to UM nursing school. That was the path that I took to go to med school. And I had the conversation with that guy, and it was like, you going to nursing, a guy. And all of a sudden I found myself give up on my nursing career. I ended up at FIU doing something else. And the good thing about it at that time was the fact that I was very disoriented. I was not sure what to do. And within the first semester, I remember I found a teacher that discovered that I was good in computer. I had no idea. So I ended up doing my information technology degree. And I was working for a company that paid for my master, and I became Microsoft engineering. So, and as a fact, all my background was IT executive. So I worked for Wachovia for about 10 years. I was the head of Wachovia for 10 years. I left in 2008. So at the beginning, I wanted to be a doctor, but I ended up not a doctor. But now simply I say I own a clinic, but I don't know. I don't know how to describe it.
But let me ask you, because you're an entrepreneur today.
Yeah.
And so was there anyone that, as you were growing up, inspired you or even taught you? Because I think it takes a lot to go from a home health business to owning all these clinics.
Yeah.
Was there someone that held your hand through the process, or like what helped you to learn to scale?
I can't say there's someone specific, but I will tell you there's one friend of my dad who actually, his name is Eliman Napoleon. He passed away. And he was in the real estate business.
Okay. And
the reason why I mention his name is because once I first came in the U.S. in the
Tell him where you came from, brother.
Yeah, I came from Okai, by the way.
Okay.
Okai, in Haiti.
Okay. So that's where you were born.
That is correct. Okay. And I came here when I was 18, 19 years old.
Okay.
So when I first came in the early 90s, he came to our home and he told my dad, this guy is different. This little boy is different than the other kids that he had. And then I remember in 2001, 2002, I first got married. And he invited a bunch of guys in St. Lucie. And I was one of them. And he told us that this place, St. Lucie, one day, this place will explode. I remember I had a conversation with my wife about it, and I always wanted to do some kind of investment. I was not sure how. And at that time, he showed us around. There was a lot of vacant land available. And lucky for me, with all of those vacant land that was available, there was two that I picked.
Okay.
It just happened. There was two vacant land that I picked. And then the city decided 2 or 3 years later that they would want to build a bigger road, so they had to buy my land.
Oh, wow.
And from there, it's allowed me to do other investment that I need to do. And then that's my history. So technically, because I started that way with him,
right, it's
kind of told me without him, I do not know where I'll be today. Because of that investment, allowed me to go and at least learn a lot of aspect in real estate. And it's helped me to where I am today.
Are you still involved today in real estate?
Yeah, I'm still involved in real estate, whether it's commercial. I do not own a lot of residential property right now, but I do own a lot of commercial properties.
Okay. You know, it's funny because I talk to my wife all the time. My wife's a physician. We've talked about that.
Yeah.
And I've always asked her, why don't you get into, your own practice? And she's always told me, because I'm in business, she says, Evans, I don't want to deal with the stresses that you deal with. I'd rather just work, a 9 to 5 and go home and deal with the kids.
Yeah.
Do you find yourself in a much more stressful situation having all these companies, or do you feel like it's a lot more work for you, or have you learned how to?
Not at all. I think for some reason I felt that I was built that way. Out of 8 kids from my mom and dad, I was just different kids. And for some reason, my mom always pick on me.
Okay.
Because my other siblings, they're always respectful, listen. But for some reason, when mom say no, I always say yes. When she say yes, I always found ways resilient toward my mom.
You challenged her.
I always challenge my mom. My mom would tell me, you can't play soccer. I would go play soccer. And she would tell me, you can't play with your brother. I would just go ahead and play with my brother. That was me. Even when I was leaving Wachovia to open my own business, my mom was just not having it.
She was scared.
She was scared for me. Not because mom did not love me, like me.
Right.
But at the end of the day, when I left Wachovia to concentrate on my own business, for an entire year, I couldn't tell my mom. Except when she was saw me coming to the house during the daytime, she could not understand it. I said, Mom, I took a leave of absence. And I took a leave of absence until a year later, when business was doing okay, I had to tell her that, hey, Mom, I'm doing my own business right now, so I don't have to do it. And tell you the truth, nothing against my sibling. I feel that my siblings are way smarter than me, and they helped me to challenge me when I was little. But at the same time, I wish I could just give them some of the skill that I have, because most of them, they tend to focus on the same thing that your wife talking about, the 8 to 5.
Right.
But because I was always challenging my mom, it's kind of helped me develop the skill that I need. Always, I can do this, I can do that, I can do this, and never can challenge me at anything in life.
So now, I don't know, is your mom still around?
Unfortunately, she's not.
But was she able to see?
Yeah, she was able to see a lot of what we did.
Okay.
But at least last year when we opened 3 clinics together, she was not there. Okay. And that was one of the things very painful for one of my brother to see that my mom was not the one to see it. But I believe that when my mom passed away, I became stronger and I became a better person. Simply, I know that I have an angel somewhere supporting me.
So you work with your family, specifically your wife. Is there any other family members?
Yeah, my wife's sister is involved. And also I have one of my brother also involved in the business as well.
So, I'm in family business.
Yeah.
So I know sometimes how complicated it can get working with your family.
Yeah.
So tell me, I know you work with your family, specifically your wife. Is there anybody else that you work with? And tell me if there is, how do you work around that? Because I know sometimes with the boundaries, it gets a little complicated.
Yeah, I have some other people that's involved. My wife's sister is involved. And I also have one of my brothers who are also involved. And they are there to support us and to see us grow. But as far for me and my wife, I always try to do my best not to bring work home. Even though she may bring it, she may want to discuss certain things, and I always try to avoid it.
You try to avoid it?
I try to avoid it simply because I know how things can be, especially with your spouse.
Right.
One other thing, I will admit, my wife always wins. She will not admit it, but she always wins. So at one point, I let her make decision, and to support the family.
Right.
And at the end of the day, I always want peace at home.
And has it worked out?
It's been working out, and we're still in business together. And I would say my wife is basically the brain behind a lot of stuff. And if you can see, I probably would be the one people more recognize in the community. It's because, like you say, your wife, somebody has to stay with the kids. So I have an 18 and a 14, and the school education is very important to her. She always stay home, make sure staying behind to make sure these kids have good grades.
So your wife not only manages your businesses, but then she also manages the household.
That is correct. And not only that, she's not only helping manage him in the clinic, but she also the sole managing for the home health. So she's actually take that, she call it her baby, and she spend more time with it. But also at the same time, when I need the best advice, that's the person I go to when it comes to the clinic. And I feel that I have a great partner when it comes to.
So then technically, if you look back in time,
Yeah,
your wife was a big factor in opening up the doors for you, because you said she was the first to
that is
kind
correct.
of like connect you with the home health agency and how that worked out. And then from there, you just took the information and ran with it.
Yeah.
So that's good. You know, sometimes they do say your partner, as long as you choose the right one,
Yeah,
can help you grow as an individual.
that is correct.
Yeah,
And
which
I was,
is-
my growth, a lot of things that we learned, I would say it's her. Even though the clinic itself, the inspiration was from my parents. The inspiration, and that's the reason why it's just innovation can come in different form. It's different how you take things to, and the way we start the clinic was simply because I found something that was working in the community, and I was taking my parents to doctor's office, and the place that I took them, I wasn't satisfied
With the service.
with the service. It was just like one doctor, one MA, one place. And then eventually later on, I took my mom out and I put her in a different environment, different clinic. A friend of mine, which I don't mind to repeat, his name is Dr. Brezo.
Okay.
He was not there. I put her there at the time. But before that, she was not in a good environment. And that what inspired me to clean. I say, what can I do to do something better to help our community? And that's how we start the first clinic. I say, if you're gonna do something, it has to be right, and it has to be quality, and it has to be set up right. And that's how we're able to accomplish since 2013.
I mean, if you don't mind me asking, how many employees do you think you even have at this point?
We have a lot of employees.
Working?
Yeah. We do have a lot of employees. We have to mention the clinic or the home health, but at least in total, we have over 500 people
Working. Wow.
Yeah,
That's good.
between the home health and the clinic. Yeah.
You know, this is an example of Black excellence. You know, you inspire individuals, and you know, like I said, I'm spiritual. Are you spiritual? I mean, do you?
Very.
You. Okay.
I'm very spiritual. I can't do anything without God.
God is the number one.
Yeah.
Okay. Same here. You know, God has played a huge role in my life, and I always give thanks every single day I wake up.
Yep.
And I know you. We talked about this. From time to time, I've seen you do maybe praying for people. You're not interested in pursuing something like that.
Actually,
becoming a minister.
Let me put it this way. Growing up, the way I was, my mom always thought that I would be the pastor in the family.
Mm.
She always said that. And I have a brother who actually has no sign as being the pastor. He's the one that's the pastor in the family. And I have to admit, when things are not right, I will call him for prayer. Okay. And even though I have other people I go to for prayer, but my brother, I feel it very sincere that I can reach out to him when I need something.
Right.
Yeah. So, I grew up in a Christian environment. My mom, both dad, just Christian, and I grew up at Bethel. Oh. But I would say most of the church in the Haitian community are my church, because I can't forget Semirai, who was my spiritual mother, and I can't forget Pastor Felix, and of course Greg, my model for excellence when it comes to spirituality. Okay. I like what he's doing with the youth in our community to this day.
Okay. So for anyone that's watching, or the young kids that's watching, or maybe the young Princeton that's watching, right? If there was any advice that you wanted to give a young person that looks at you and is like, I want to be, Princeton one day, what would you say is the best advice you can give a younger person in terms of maybe, how to, get there?
We just touched on that. I'll go back to this. You know what? Put God first. Mm. Everything that you do, pray. And people do not understand. My morning I started very early. If anyone hasn't done that, I'll probably advise someone to go read that book, The 5 a.m. Club.
5 a.m. club.
So I wake up at 5 a.m. every day.
Even on a Sunday?
Even in a Sunday. Even in a Sunday. There will be some days the body will tell you something. Otherwise, I fight my body so I can just always do it. When I wake up, I look for things to do for the day. And I will pray. And then one thing that we do as a family is to make me responsible for is to find the song of the day.
Song of the day.
So basically every day I would find a song to reach out to send it to the members of family. So that song will be the one that lead them for the day. So for me, I always constantly asking God for guidance because at the end of the day, that song will inspire somebody somewhere and what the journey they're going to for that day.
So you start your day off like that?
I start my day off like that.
Now with the song, is it like a spiritual?
It's a spiritual song. It's a gospel song.
Okay.
And then it's funny, this morning, I wake up so early at 5 o'clock and I was like looking at the watch and I say, if I send it that early, I normally do it around 6 o'clock. If I do it around 5 o'clock, I'm probably going to wake up somebody. I waited and then time passed by and 7 o'clock, my brother didn't find it. And my brother was like, Prince, where's the song of the day? So I was like, wow, they're not supposed to tell me that because I'm supposed to be in it. So, and I say, I'm sorry. And definitely the song was ready to go. Okay. And I submitted it to them. So it's put God first. If there's an advice that I will give to young folks, a lot of time people think businesses are for everyone, and it's not for everyone.
I agree with that.
It's not for everybody. Yeah. And maybe people see you and I, they think we get it. How do I describe that? Maybe we were born that way.
You know what I think it is? It's kind of like you said, when you were young, you were different. Yeah. And I'm not saying that you're special. Yeah. It's just that you're different. The same way there's some individuals that are genetically programmed to be athletes. Yeah. That's a natural genetic. Yeah. You know, some people can run faster than others. That's natural. Yeah. Same way you said, you know, when you were growing up, you were challenging your parents all the time. That's just the way you're programmed. Yeah. So yeah, you're built for certain things that not everybody is built for. Yeah. And then the second and lastly, I'll tell them, ask for help. Ask for help. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to ask questions. It's okay to come to Princeton. It's okay to go to Evans. Ask for help. And even like you mentioned, I offer myself every Wednesday, give 2 hours a day. 2 hours a day. 2 hours on Wednesday to provide quality experience to anyone that needs to be in any business. So let's talk about that. If someone wants to reach out to you, are you open to the public? Or? I'm open to Facebook. I'm open to Instagram. Just reach out to me. What's your Instagram handle? It's Princeton Jean Glaude. Okay, just look up your name. Yeah. Okay. And same with Facebook. That is correct. Okay. Okay. Were you gonna say something else? Well, whatever question that you have. Oh. Well, we're gonna wrap it up soon, but I know you do a lot of other things. Yeah. Is there anything else that you do that you want the public to know about? I'm all about innovation, all about open mindset. People see me in healthcare, and I always tell them to always diversify what you have. Okay? And I think I mentioned it to you, and there's one business people doesn't know that I'm in it, which I own a wine company. It's actually I'm the majority stakeholder in that business, and I never share it in the community simply because I didn't feel the need to. Right. It's called Rain Door. It's a great wine. We have 2 lines. It's a rosé, plus a wine. It's sparkling wine. It's a great wine. So at the end of the day, if you want to drink some wine, just follow Rain Door. Rain Door. You guys hear that? Rain Door. So you said diversify, which means get yourself involved, I guess, in different projects to grow, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, Princeton, you were amazing. And I appreciate your time. I really do. I really do. Because I know that, individuals like you and even me, I'm a nobody. But
me too.
Sometimes time is valuable in terms of you're ripping and running. But I just wanted to ask you anything else. Is there do you want to keep growing your practices in the future? Like if I see you 5 years from now, where do you see yourself?
I don't go in 5 years. I say about 3 years.
Okay.
It just simply 5 years may be too long for me. I told some of the folks around me, at least I have 5, but I spoke to my financial advisors. What do you think I can handle? And then he said that 8 to 10 would be practical for what you do. One of the things that I'm doing right now is just find ways to increase more knowledge in what we do. Okay. And simply because I realized that a high school coach may not be suitable to coach in college.
Okay.
The same college coach may not be suitable to coach in professional.
Right.
So it's a different skill set. So for me, as I grow, I feel that I need another skill set for me to take it to the next level. So that's the reason why right now I'm going to school and I'm doing the study at Harvard, a healthcare executive. So that can help me take the clinic to another level.
So you see, guys, it never stops. It never stops, and really that's what separates one person from another person. Is just because it's just the work ethic. It's what you invest. It's the time that you put into it. And it's just the way the world functions. If you're not doing it, someone else is. Again, I'm really happy that I got to sit with you today and talk about your past. And hopefully someone out there is listening that you inspired. And I'm pretty sure you did. I'm pretty sure you did.
Thank you.
I want to say thank you to all of you that have watched us today, and tune in for the next show. I'm your host, Evans. Thanks, Vincent. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
No problem.